down to the other side of the desk. He comes up bleeding just everywhere. And the story is Gunther has never bled before in his entire life. And the sight of his own blood is making him panic. And he's freaking out. It's like when a great wrestler would see Undertaker's casket and lose his mind. Same thing. Gunther sees blood, loses his mind. And it's some blindness he can't see. So Punk finally makes his real comeback. He turns into a boxing match. His punches suck. He goes to the top rope, does an elbow. The elbow sucks. He goes for a go to sleep. Gunther gets one last sleeper out of that. It's his last chance. Even now, he's pushing it that way. He's trying to blink the blood out of his eyes. He can't see. But Punk powers up out of the sleeper, gets a go to sleep. Gunther still won't go down. And Punk grabs him, gets a second go to sleep. I thought to myself, okay, they're at least into the sequence of finishing near falls now. And Gunther stayed down. And that was the end. Like they cut the end of the match out.
Yeah, it was like he was so exhausted and so dead and was beaten so severely. And it was a SummerSlam main event that I was like, I laughed when he didn't kick out. I was like, that's it? Like, I knew, I didn't know, but I was 99% sure that Punk was going to win and then Seth was going to cash in. So I was just waiting to see what they were going to do. And, you know, Gunther beat him for so long that to me it was like a foregone conclusion that like Punk was going to win. But I was not, I thought it was going to be like Flair Vader, where like he just got murdered the entire time and then it's like some roll up and he, you know, goes real deep and the guy can't kick out and he wins like, you know, not so much a fluke, but, you know, something where he wins. You know, it's a clean win, but, like, not hitting his finish twice, and somehow Gunther can't kick out. And then, you know, Gunther kills him afterwards or whatever, and then Seth comes out. But, nah, he hit him with 2 moves and beat him after all that. And then, you know, he starts celebrating, and as soon as they didn't put the graphic on the screen, I was like, yeah, this guy's coming back.
I had a whole rant about how in this particular match, the wrong man won, and then the post-match happened and rendered all that irrelevant. So never mind. So Punk is celebrating, and they're making a big deal out of it. He's probably legit crying. And Seth's music hits. He comes out on crutches. He's there with Paul Heyman, who's carrying the briefcase. And I don't think he had a mic, but he just announces, I'm here to remind you that I have this briefcase. I'll be healthy one day. Enjoy that while you can. And he turns his back. And he tosses his crutches aside, and he tears off his shirt, and he's all lean and ripped. And he grabs the briefcase, sprints down to the ring, smashes CM Punk with it over and over again, cashes in, hits a curb stomp, and wins. Seth Rollins, your new world champion. They probably won't do this, but if Punk comes out and complains about this, the guy who cashed in Money in the Bank twice on Edge and Jeff Hardy, and just, I guess 2 years ago now, as mentioned, tripped Drew on the announce desk and let Seth cash in, or whoever was cash in on him. It was Damian Priest. Damian Priest cashed in on him. Regardless, Punk and Money in the Bank have a long, long history together. That's not even counting. That's not even counting Punk and Cena. Yeah, he's got a lot. He's had that briefcase one way or another a lot. Anyway, that's the main event. At least it ended on a newsworthy note. Seth Rollins is the new world champion.
I will give him credit too. You know, when Seth got hurt, allegedly hurt on Saturday night's main event, you know, for those who don't remember the story, it's like they worked a lot of people, and to the point where, you know, they did redo like the last 45 minutes of Saturday night's main event. And there were like production people and other wrestlers. I mean, they told people he's hurt. And so, you know, the word got out that night that he was hurt. But then, you know, like a day later, you know, somebody said, well, first it was John Pollock had heard what they were going to do like a couple of days before. And so there was initially skepticism because unless, you know, he had a time machine, like he had heard exactly how they were going to do it. And then I heard from somebody else that what appeared to happen is that Seth had something with his knee, not like a serious injury, but something. And so they could legitimately tell people that he was hurt because he did have something going on with his knee. But what happened on Saturday night's main event was work. And the idea was we want people to believe that he's going to be out 9 months or 12 months with a torn ACL, MCL, etc., and then he does a surprise return and cashes in, okay? So, unfortunately, like, it all got out, and to the point where even on Raw, Paul Heyman, he didn't even bother lying. He was just like, Seth will be out a considerable amount of time. They never did an actual, update on what his injury was. And so it was pretty clear that he wasn't badly injured. And the point of all of this is they had this plan for SummerSlam that he would do a surprise cash-in after they pretended he was injured. And even though pretty much I think everybody figured out what was going on, they didn't change it. This was the story they wanted to tell, that CM Punk was going to win the title and Seth was going to screw him. And just because people knew that it was likely to happen, they didn't change it. They went along with their story, and so I'm glad they did that. And it was, the show was not much, but you did get a big meaningful thing at the end of the show. So, this was what I said should have happened at that TNA pay-per-view. When, Trick gets the win and leaves, and I'm waiting for somebody to do something, and they didn't. That would have been like if CM Punk would hit him with 2 GTSs, 1, and they just would have gone off the air. That still would have been better because it was like a title change or whatever, but they really did something big to make it, you sat through 3.5 hours with only 90 minutes of wrestling, but God damn it, you got a title change and you got a cash in. So,
that got the biggest reaction on the show.
Yeah.
People love cash-ins.
And, whatever you want to say watching as a viewer, somebody here on the chat went, and, they said middle of the show was dead, but the opener had a lot of heat, and the place went nuts for the main event, Punk winning and the cash-in, so.
Yeah.